Hi, ladies. Today I wanted to talk to you, ladies, about how to set boundaries with family members. This can be quite a tough subject to cover. It is something that nobody really wants to do, but is often necessary, and it is something that's coming up for me right now, so I figured if I'm dealing with it, you guys are probably facing the same issues at some point, so you might want a little bit of my perspective on that. So the situation for me is this. Me and my mom don't have the best relationship. We haven't been in contact much over the last couple years. Just a casual email every now and then, hey, how's the weather? Type of conversations. I've intentionally drawn the line several years ago with her. If she were somebody I met at the party, she would not be a person I want to talk to. That's really what it comes down to. I know that sounds really harsh. She's my mom after all, but there is a big long backstory to that, which I will not go into right now because that would take up like 3 hours of your time. But what it boils down to ultimately is I like to look at the positive things in life, whereas she likes to point out the negative things, and so we have a lot of conflict in that regard. So when that email suddenly came where she invited herself to come over and stay here for 6 days at my house, my initial instinct was, heck no, this is not happening. You're not staying here. The last time we stayed together under the same roof, it lasted less than 24 hours, and I packed my bags and left again. So my initial instinct was, nope, I don't need that kind of drama in my life. It's not worth it. She's not staying here. There's plenty of hotels here in the Orlando area. And then, of course, other people chimed in. Other family members and friends chimed in, and the whole mommy, grandma guilt trip was put on me. She's here on vacation, and she's making the effort to stop by and see her grandkids, so I should really just let her stay with us. So they say anyway. So I ended up agreeing to it. However, the reason why I jumped on here with you ladies is because the only reason I agreed to it was because I set strict boundaries with her before she even gets here tomorrow. So when I got that initial email from her, my answer for her was very crystal clear and straight to the point. And she's used to that for me by now. That's how we've managed to avoid a lot of drama over the last couple of years, because I tell her straight up what I think and how I feel about it. I didn't used to do that. It has definitely worked in both of our favor that I now have that approach with her. But I basically told her in a reply email that I'm not sure it's a good idea that she stays here, because we don't have a good track record being under the same roof. I told her I'm not sure it's a good idea for the kids either, because while she might be coming here to hang out with them and spend time with them, she does not keep in touch with them on a regular basis. She has never called us. Never. I've lived in the States since 2001. It is now 2016. She has never called us and checked in on us and asked how the kids are doing or talked to the kids. All we ever get is every 3-4 months we'll get the casual email of how's the weather. So I told her straight up, I'm not sure this is a good idea for me and her to be under the same roof, and I'm not sure it's a good idea for the kids, because I don't want to give them false hope that this grandma of theirs is now gonna be there and show up and be this supportive person that they want her to be, and then she doesn't do that. Along with that, I also told her there are certain topics that are off limits that we will not be discussing, that have always been a sore spot for us, and they will simply not be discussed at all. They will not be asked about, they will not be discussed. So that was my reply to her comment of coming to stay with us for 6 days. It probably sounds really harsh to you. It probably sounds like, how could you talk to your mom like that? But it is I guess, somewhat of an agreement that we've come to, that the only way me and her can really get along, because we are so different and look at life so differently, is to be straight up honest. And that's what I would like to encourage you ladies to do. Maybe not to the extreme that I did. I didn't used to be that straight up with her either. It was a gradual approach that just happened over time. And we found our own little balance of talking to each other peacefully. And setting boundaries with family is always hard because you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. So you kind of do this eggshell dance and you sugarcoat things a lot. But I'm telling you, it never pays off to sugarcoat things. Do you have to be rude about what you want to say? No, of course not. You want to consider the other person's feelings, but you still need to be honest about your boundaries and expectations so that you can be truthful to yourself. And that's really what this boiled down to. Now, mind you, my mom didn't answer that email that I sent her for 2 weeks. And she's a person who, when she's mad at you, she doesn't talk to you. So I figured, great, I just royally pissed her off. And secretly, I was kind of hoping that would mean she wouldn't come. But that's another story. Yeah, she answered after 2 weeks and just said, it's all about tolerance. That was her only reply. I'm not really sure what that means, and I don't really want to even waste my energy trying to figure out what that meant and reading between the lines. That's her deal, not mine. But I have to tell you, it felt so good. It took a huge amount of pressure off me to just be able to state my honest opinion on her coming here. And to tell her that up front, what I'm worried about and what I don't want to see happen and what my expectations are. So while it sucks to have to do that, to have to be that straight up with especially family, people that are close to you, sometimes you have to. You have to just have the guts to say what you mean. Say what you think. You might hurt their feelings. It's inevitable. We all hurt each other's feelings. But if you sugarcoat things, it's going to be even worse because then you're making assumptions of what the other person meant. And then you're filling in the blanks on what wasn't said. And then you really are going to hurt each other's feelings because you lead to nothing but miscommunication and misunderstandings. So I wanted to post that to you. Encourage you, please know what your boundaries are, know what your expectations are, and don't be afraid to voice them. It is healthy, it is necessary, and it makes you a lot more at peace with yourself. Talk to you ladies soon.